Boys and girls, welcome to Club Evil. I'm Evil Dick.
Evil Dick! Evil.
You're a devil in disguise is what you are. You're burning me on purpose.
That's what I'm saying. Why do they think that God gives a crap about what goes on in that house? And why do they think that he's going to part the Red Sea for them to the promised land? Didn't you watch last season? What they didn't show last season was me in the diary room praying to my God, Fred.
Like some young, tiny, small spaces. Evil Dick. These little gooey telltale.
Are you taking the cameras off of me?
Evil Dick.
And welcome back to RTV Zone, part 2 of our special, my favorite episode of the whole season, my favorite episode since I've been doing RTV Zone Dick at Night, with Dr. Will, my favorite contestant. We had a great chat in part 1. If you haven't seen it, make sure you go back and watch that one first. This is part 2. Sit back, open up a beer, put your feet up, and enjoy. Go, man.
Hey, Evil Dick, I have some notes here that I have from different people, and I don't want to make you uncomfortable on your own show, but I would be doing myself a disservice if I didn't bring these up, so you'll have to over-excuse me, but will you today give the fans the reason, or at least the background of why you left Big Brother, whatever it was, 11, 12, 13?
13.
Today, right now, we're ready. 13.
No. You know and I know that our private lives are our private lives. In some particular
That's a good point.
They've made my life a bigger part of my life, more than anybody else. And I can say this for a fact. My whole relationship with my daughter, my whole fucked up relationship with my daughter is public domain now. And
Right.
there is some things that they're not paying me for my life to be a reality show. So
Excellent point.
Things that I'm going to keep private, and that is one of the things. I usually say I left bacon on the oven, or I had to go milk the goats. I had to change the oil in my car, or some kind of bullshit like that. But the truth is that I have a life. I have a private life, and it concerns more than me, and so I'm just leaving it at that. So no.
Very fair. You can't fault me for asking. And I think you do bring up an excellent point there, which is something that Marcellus really, really emphasized. And I actually, all the things I don't agree with him on necessarily, that is something I really agree with him, which is in the confines of the Big Brother house, we are open game, and you can do whatever you want, and you can say anything you want about me. But outside of the game, you really have to give the players their space, because they don't work for you anymore. And, I tried to bring entertainment every single day in the Big Brother house, and anything someone wanted to say to me, online or about it is totally fine. But I can really appreciate what you said, because relationships are so challenging, particularly relationships with family members. And, I don't think that's something necessarily that a lot of the most overzealous Big Brother fans can really appreciate is the lack of privacy that you get especially after you've won the shows. I can understand that completely, and as someone who, I travel a lot for business, and I do a lot of different things, and if one more person walks up to the airport to me and goes, bring, I'm going to dump a Slurpee on their head, because it is the most derivative, boring. Do you think you're the person who thought of that? I mean,
yeah.
that has been, I get that every day. It's like, can you please come up with anything more interesting than that? So, needless to say, I love speaking to fans, and I love, as a general rule, I like reality TV. Big Brother's not my favorite, but, you got to give the players their space.
See, now you get the bring. What I get is, how's Danielle? And I'm like, how come nobody believes that we don't talk? We don't talk. We didn't talk on season 8. We didn't talk on season 13. Everyone in America that watches the show was told that we don't talk. We don't talk. We don't like each other. We're better off separate. And but I get that constantly, all the time. And it is what it is. Now, okay, you asked me one. I'm going to ask you one.
Please. It's only fair.
Okay. We're playing a little tennis here. Boogie in the diary room, when he voted to evict Janelle, said, this is for Will and Aaron. F you, Janelle, whatever he said, blah, blah, blah. Now, I read something, and Julie Chen went to the producers and said, who's Aaron? Me, I've been a huge fan of the show from season 1, you know, and I know my shit on Big Brother. I said, who's Aaron? So, you know, now the way it turns out, and most of the people that are watching my show are like hardcore fans, and they know more than I do about this stuff. So they knew who Aaron was. But if you don't know, Aaron is your longtime, is it girlfriend or wife now?
We're engaged. We're not legally married, but she's got a giant diamond on her ring, courtesy of me. So we've been together a very long time, and we have a 2-year-old son. And breaking news for the Big Brother fans, might not be breaking news, we have a baby girl due in about 2 or 3 weeks also.
Oh, so, wow. Congratulations.
Thank you. You heard it here first on RTV Zone with Evil Dick. But let's talk about that. I think, you know, I have spoken to Mike since he got out of the Big Brother house. So today is what is today? The 25th? I spoke to him yesterday, and I guess he got out the day before. And, anyway, he was a little upset with me because I haven't watched any of this season, just because I have the 2-year-old, and I don't think it's appropriate to let a 2-year-old watch Big Brother, and we do more reading at night than you know. And he goes to bed at, you know, 8 o'clock.
Let me give a little bit more background before, like, you get into it here, because you guys see it from a different thing. From my perspective as a casual fan, not as a crazy, I'm going to follow, you know, Janelle and Dr. Will's moves outside the house. I was never like that. I watched the show as a fan of the show. I would, like, maybe go on I think the only time I started going on message boards was when I made the finals, looking more into, like, things of the game and so on and so forth. But a lot of people knew that you had an affair with Janelle. I thought it was what you said it was, a flirtmance. You're looking at me funny. Was it not?
No, I never had a lot of people are going to be really hurt by this, but there was no affair with Janelle. Like, we had a flirtmance, and, you know, I thought we were going to be friends outside of the house, just friends, but we weren't. You know, I think she's, and I'll talk about this, I think she's so sweet, and she's really nice. Phenomenal Big Brother player, phenomenal. You know, and it's tough to win the show. You know, not winning it multiple times is no reflection on you as a player necessarily. But I think that, you know, the part of the flirtmance was really perpetuated by both her and myself, and very candidly for really, you know, some of the right reasons and some of the wrong reasons. If you look at that time, it was really before the economy went bad, and for me, I like to think 3 or 4 steps ahead of the Big Brother game. So I had, you know, I was getting a ton of personal appearances right after All-Stars. And if you look at, you know, who were the final 4 in All-Stars? Mike, Erica, and Janelle. And, you know, I don't think they necessarily parlayed their post-reality life all that well, whereas I'd like to think I did a much, much better job of that. And if you go back and you look at the records at that time, by perpetuating this you know, flirtmance, it really was putting dollars in my pocket. I won't rattle off the list of cities, but I was doing, you know, I was on the women's show circuit, you know, in Canada and the United States, doing personal appearances once or twice a week. You know, you're making $5,000, $7,500, $10,000 for those. Just doing a lot of stuff here and there. And you know, there was always talks of The Amazing Race. I would have done it with Mike. I would, you know, I didn't feel like I'd be great at doing it with Janelle. So needless to say, I parlayed that as long as I could. I wrote it out as long as I could. I really genuinely think she's so sweet, and I think that Big Brother puts you in a little bit of shell shock, especially when she had to do 2 back-to-back seasons. And, you know, it was a weird time for everybody, but it was simply an economic decision. It was an economic decision, and it was for me, it was a smart economic decision. So, to the fans who kept hoping there was something there, and especially those 3 or 4 or 5 really, really freaky people out there, you guys need restraining orders because you were buying stuff on the internet that didn't even exist. But, you know, we made money doing it. It lasted for a couple months.
I heard you got at least one restraining order against, who was it? It was like a crazy fan setting up websites or something?
Yeah, I've had, on 2 occasions, I've had to have legitimate restraining orders. One was not allowed, but one was allowed. And anyway, you know, she's smarter than I am. She sold a gift of like here's the story. When I went to the jury house in Big Brother All-Stars, I knew that the jury was going to be really pissed at me because I'd kicked a lot of them out. So I used a computer and I burned a bunch of discs of people's favorite music. And because, they don't give you much, to deal with. And when I went to the jury house, I said, hey, here's all the discs of the music we talked about and something to make a connection to you. And I gave one to Chicken George, and that was kind of like the 70s songs. And I gave one to Howie, and his was more like, booty rap. And Marcellus, I gave him the glam tunes, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, Janelle, I gave her, a disc of some of the music we had talked about in the house, and she sold it on eBay for like thousands of dollars. So she's very, very smart, and I wish I had thought that out a little bit better. But, unfortunately, it's not as interesting a story as people would like it to believe. And, nothing but wonderful things to say about her and the entire Big Brother All-Stars cast. Fun group of people outside of the house, but that is the past for me. It's the Big Brother days.
I
Am I still on?
Totally relate. Yeah. So, people always ask me. People always ask me.
Oh, so wait, can I answer your question? I never answered your question.
Yeah.
Can I answer your question? Sorry, I'm so
Absolutely.
sorry. So Mike, I think I haven't asked Mike about that yet. The next day when I went to work, a ton of people came up to me and were like, hey, why did Mike do that with Erin? And I was like, do what with Erin? And my guess is he mentioned her name almost, and I don't know, I'll have to ask him. I think he's trying to hurt people as much as he can in the Big Brother house. I know he went in with that mentality. That's why he's a great villain, because he isn't an asshole about it. But I have nothing but love for him.
She was already voted out. And and I know that there's personal stuff between Janelle and Boogie.
Oh, yeah.
Because I talked to Janelle before she went in the house, and she's like, I fucking hate Mike Boogie. And I kept telling her, I'm like, get Dan out first. Fuck Boogie, get Boogie second.
Oh.
Go for Dan first. Because I think Dan was more dangerous of a player than Boogie was. And I think that was part of Janelle's downfall. And, she admits that. But she didn't play that good of a game this season, plain and simple. She didn't really connect with anyone.
It's tough for anyone to go back. I mean, I was afraid during Big Brother All-Stars that I was going to get kicked out first, and I was surprised I wasn't, like I said earlier. I think it's really, this goes back to the analogy of why are movie sequels always terrible? With rare exception. And I think it's difficult to make a great movie once, much less twice. Same thing with Big Brother winning. It's tough enough to play well once, much less twice. And, some people don't get it. Not the right game, people. No matter how many times certain people play it, they'll never win. But, you said get Dan out first. I think Dan is a really, really good player from my limited interaction with him, which has been, outside of the Big Brother house. He seems like a really, really smart guy. And I think he's I think he would have been someone that I would have targeted any coach first. I would have targeted someone who had already played the game, over a new person, just because you have to think they're bringing a level of experience and anger with them. So I would have targeted, Dan, Janelle, Mike, or the other person. I don't watch the show. Who's the other person?
Brittany. She was like a...
Brittany.
Everyone's like... But and I know that the whole coach's twist was bullshit. It was all just like... it was a lie in order to give them a month pass. And this is why I don't like these twists. Because, Allison and Rich just use them to propel who is getting them ratings in the season. And that's what bothers me about...
The coaches,
what the game is turned into now.
Yeah, they knew. I mean, whenever, very frequently when there's a new season, the producers reach out to me and say, hey, what do you want your level of involvement to be? And it's always, limited and based on schedule. And this year they reached out to me and I said, hey, Will, can we talk to you? And I said, listen, I don't want to waste your time. You don't even have to tell me anything. I'm not interested in participating. Within 2 weeks, I had, maybe not the person directly, but at least their close, friend or wife or some confidant calling me to see what I was doing that summer. So clearly, it was, once again, these things are the worst kept secret in reality TV. On Big Brother All-Stars, it was unbelievable. This season was the worst. I mean, they were all calling me asking, I was going to go, what I want to do, team up. And I'm like, guys, I'm not doing it. So, I don't remember what the topic was, but the coaches, they knew they were going to become players, and it's dumb. It's just dumb. Isn't it dumb? If I was a fan, I'd be let down. It's annoying. It's dumb.
If I was in the house, I would be furious because you have an advantage going in playing a second time, and you have what I've been saying all season is you have three of the best players who ever played the game: Dan, Boogie, and Janelle, and then you have and Brittany. Three of the best players that's ever played the game, and Brittany, getting a month-long pass and putting them against people that are horrible players, haven't played the game before, and half of them. You only have two players in this season, which is Shane and Frank, and it's just I just look at it as not fair. If I was in the house, I would be like, this is bullshit. You have three great players that you're giving a month-long pass to, like they don't already have an advantage.
Mike was pretty annoyed yesterday when I spoke to him, and I said, "Hey, look, man, you knew they were going to do that," and he's like, "Yeah, you're right." So I'd much rather have a 1 in 4 chance at $100,000 than a 1 in 12 chance at $500,000. And I genuinely think that Mike was hoping just to remain a coach, but I think that it'd be naive to think that they weren't going to do that. I mean, we all knew they were going to do that, right?
Yeah.
The good news is if you got voted out, not many people saw because the ratings are so bad because the Olympics crushed it. So kind of, hey, listen, if you didn't win, you're not the end of the world. No one really knows. And, I just read a fact that, what's the show Honey Boo Boo? Here Comes Honey Boo Boo on TLC. Here Comes Honey Boo Boo had 2.3 million viewers on TLC last week, and Big Brother had 6.6 million viewers.
Yeah.
And that's going to be graded down because of the NFL. Honey Boo Boo on cable is pulling in a third of the audience. So I think the time for these types of shows, it's slowly, the granddaddy shows, American Idol, Survivor, Amazing Race, Big Brother, they're coming down. And I think that's the future. I think the cable networks are going to rise up. NBC, CBS, Fox, ABC are going to slowly, there's going to be some equalization across the board. And I think, if you're a huge Big Brother fan, I think you're seeing sort of the last of a dinosaur. Can this go on 5 more years? I don't know. Maybe if they revamp the concept, but not in its current form.
Yeah,
what do
I
know?
don't think so either. And I think that the more that they're screwing with it, the more it's like pissing people off and upsetting people. Where they had a great show, and by tinkering with it, they're screwing it up more and more. And that's my opinion. So.
You can never go back. Once you do one bad twist, but it's a big bad twist, you can't go back. Because then, for instance, the next year, they can't go back to the way it was season 2. I wish they would. I would become a fan again. But you can't. Now everybody's going to go, well, when's the titanium, the veto thing coming? And you're just never going to, and as a result, you can't meet expectations. So I wish they would bring me in. On a number of occasions, I've pitched them phenomenal ideas, and it's why mix things up? If you're getting a big paycheck and the ratings are there, well then, there is no artistry to it. Why get artistic and why would you give the fans a truly memorable experience when you can make the money anyway? And I understand that. That's the nature of television, and I get it. I just wish someone would take a risk and make a really, really good show.
I completely agree with you, and it shows with the same competitions year after year after year, to where the people in the house are saying, well, this is going to be a before and after, and it's a before and after. Well, this is going to be a this, and it's that, and I've even been calling the competitions, saying, it's going to be the fishbowl one, it's going to be this, it's going to be that. It's way too predictable, and I would like it. Back in season 2, you had to really play the game. You had to. You had to play because there was no veto. There was, absolutely. Where now it's just, well, I'm on the block, but I hear Frank going, I'm hoping for a special power or a Pandora's box, and it's just like, when they tried to give Jeff the game by giving him the coup d'etat. He didn't even know how to pronounce it or what the hell it was, and he screwed that up. And they liked Matt, so they gave Matt the diamond power of veto, which he screwed up. These guys just don't know how to play. I don't know.
Yeah, if you can't read, you should not be able to win the head of household competition. That should be one of the main rules. The truth is that they have to make this game with there cannot be luck involved. You can't, it's it's there has to be. I mean, in the NFL, if we were watching an NFL game and all of a sudden in the third quarter, if the referee came out and said, okay, we're going to give this one random quarterback, this extra benefit, everyone would walk out of the stadium and be like, this is horseshit. But yet somehow it's accepted in Big Brother, and it shouldn't be. You should say, hey, listen, this has to be equitable. You can't kick someone out. And in season 3, they kicked this girl out, and then she came back and sat in a bathtub for a couple days, and then she got to be in the house. And it's like, no. If you vote someone out, vote them out. Just, guys, you have to be equitable. Otherwise, you lose credibility and you lose legitimacy, and it's unethical, it's immoral, and it looks fishy.
Yeah, and it's just not fair. And that's one thing that I've always hated about the twist. And I always say, anytime that there's a twist, it makes the playing field unbalanced. The twist benefits someone, and it puts someone at a detriment every single time. And this season, when they brought in the coaches, Shane had won the HOH. He won the POV. He had Frank up on the block. Neither Boogie or Frank even knew that he was going to be blindsided. And then CBS goes, no eviction tonight. And I'm like, this guy put 2 people on the block, put a replacement, so that's 3 people that are pissed off at him. When Boogie found out he was going to be, Frank was going to be blindsided, that's 4 people in the house that are pissed as hell at him for being HOH, but yet he didn't get anybody out. And I thought there was just such a bunch of shit.
Now, let me say this, and I'm sure you agree with me, Dick. If you're listening to this and you disagree with us, you are welcome to disagree, and here's my challenge to you. Apply for Big Brother. Twitter Robin Cass, tweet her, twat her, whatever you want to do. Tweet Allison Grodner and say, hey, I want to be on Big Brother, and prove me wrong. Go on Big Brother, win the show, and then come on the RTV Zone with Evil Dick, because so many people have opinions. People, they Facebook me, they tweet me, they email me with all these things. I coulda, woulda, shoulda. You should have done this. Why didn't you do this? You're an a-hole because of this. Why? And give me some money, I'm a disabled, people just, guys, please, it's a reality show. If I can't reach out to everybody, but here's the thing. If you're so awesome and you would have done it, do it. Quick story.
Exactly.
One time these 2 guys were looking at a Picasso painting, and one guy looked at the other guy and he said, hey, I could have done that. And the first guy looked back and said, well, why don't you fucking do it? So that's my challenge to you. Excuse my language, but, Evil Dick, tons of respect. You know why? You went on whatever season 4 finals, didn't make it. Season 5 finals, didn't make it. Ladies and gentlemen, he didn't give up. He knew he had what it took. Maybe he tweaked his audition just a little bit, but he went out and he brought he persevered and conquered, and he's $500,000 richer for it. So if you're watching Big Brother and you're on the internet and you have these excuses, this, that, then guess what? All you are is a casual fan. Nothing wrong with that, but if you really want to earn the respect of the true players out there, get in the game and show somebody you know how to do it. And so the last thing I want to hear is people complain about that they don't like the cast, because guess what? Be a good cast member and go on.
Exactly.
But, I think that there's still a ton of great people out there. I'm optimistic that reality TV will reignite, a fire in me at some point so that I become a fan of it. And I feel like I've taken over the show. But let me say one thing. That for anyone who said to me, why didn't you go on the season, or are we ever going to see you on Big Brother again? You're never going to be on Big Brother again in the context of a player. I do stuff with them occasionally. This year I was on a real brief segment, but I can't give up the time. I have a small child. I value that relationship very much, and I work at it. But I will tell you this little secret. 40 years old, I have a baby due this year. When that child is 18 years old, if the show Survivor is still on the air, I'm going to get in phenomenal shape, and I'll be nearly 60, and I'll go on Survivor, and no one will know me by then. People don't even know who I am now. But by 18 years from now, at the age of close to 60, I'll go on Survivor, and I'll just be the crotchety old dermatologist. I'll yell at everyone for not wearing their sunscreen, bitch out people for not making the shelter, and you will see a resurgence one more time, last time ever, go out with a bang on Survivor and bring, that level of entertainment that you guys have seen in the past. So I hope that one day I can entertain you again. It's just not going to be in the context of Big Brother. Evil Dick, what show do you want to go on next?
Let me tell you, I had always hoped that I was so disappointed. Let me put it. I was so disappointed that I got on in season 8 as opposed to season 6, because I know, and I told let me show you. This is what, you know, the last on-camera interview you have during the finals. You have Big Brother people, you have Survivor people, you have Amazing Race people, you have network people. I walk in and I tell Allison Grodner, I'm like, would you mind if I addressed everyone before we get started? And she's like, well, that's kind of odd, but okay, Dick. And I went right down the list from the back of the audience to the front, and I go, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. And I go, that's because I would have made All-Stars. I would have made All-Stars last year had you put me on season 6. And
Good point.
Allison was laughing so hard, and I got screwed out of it because they didn't put me on there.
Yeah.
I wanted to play with you. I wanted to play with the best of the best, and that will never happen again. And it's very disappointing to me.
Who do you think are the people who deserve to be on if they do another All-Star season? Who are the people that you think?
Between you and me, let's come up with an All-Star list.
Well, I'm at a disadvantage because Danielle's number one. I'm at a disadvantage because I don't really watch the show, but I do think you have to have Danielle on there. I think you really have to have either. I think you got to have Nicole on there. I mean, no one can tell me she isn't one of, if not the best, final 2 that have ever been there. So
Absolutely.
I'd say you got to put Danielle and Nicole. Who do you put in there?
I would put. This might sound odd, and I might be leaning a little more towards this because I've become good friends with her. June Song from season 4, the winner of season 4.
100%.
Yeah, she was. People say she was the ultimate floater, but she used her boyfriend like a bitch, and that's what I really loved about her. Was she used G and tossed him away like a used tampon, and that made me laugh, and I love that about her. So I would definitely put June on that list. Absolutely, you would have to be on the list. I would be on the list.
You as well. How many is that? 6, or is that? Let's see.
We got
1, 2,
5
3,
there.
4, 5. 5. My computer just disappeared.
Let's see.
You
Let's
there?
go down
Okay.
the other seasons. Yeah. Who we got? Anyone from season 5? Did you watch season 5? You must have watched a little bit of it.
What remind me what that is? What was the gist of that one?
It was the.
Was that the cowboy and he's married to Nokomis?
Yes.
I don't know. Nobody. I don't know.
Everyone thought that Nokomis was such a great player. I thought she had the 6-finger plan to, use the veto to get Jace out was a great plan. But other than that, I didn't think she was a great player, and I think it showed in All-Stars. She got her ass kicked. She was like nothing.
Yeah,
in All-Stars.
All-Stars was just so weird. Like, I just kept thinking everyone was going to be such a great player, so I was so nervous and, really trying to get people out. And looking back, like, people weren't really that good. They were just kind of hanging out. She's super sweet. I saw her in San Antonio with Mike a while back. But yeah, I don't know. Just to be honest, I don't know if she's one of the greatest. That's for sure.
Yeah, she's not on my list. And another one that was Diane. She was. I liked her in season 5, but come All-Stars, she goes on the block and she stays in bed crying for 2 days. And I'm like,
I adore Diane. Yeah, I adore her. I think of her as like a little sister. I voted for her to stay. Like, I always have had a warm spot in my heart for her. I just think she's so sweet. And that's the same with Erica too. I mean, I know Mike hates Erica, but I really adore them. I think the people from All-Stars, like, I'm ashamed by how much I was playing during All-Stars because everyone was just so sweet and nice, and they're real. Like, Diane and Erica just really are really. They're just sweet people outside of the house.
Just on a side note, before we finish with this, before I forget, your speech, I hate everyone in All-Stars because I hate all of you. In season 2, I had a few people. Now, James told me that you said a speech and then you said, okay, wait, but this is the speech that I want on the show. Is that bullshit or what? What's the real deal?
You mean like I did it twice or no?
Yes, that's what he told me.
No, the speech was, I was contemplating different things, and I knew that, I felt like I had to take it in one really strong direction. If I got and I said, hey guys, please keep me. I know I can be an asset to your game. People would have been like, get this dude out of here. So I really went to one far direction, which was to tell everybody, that I didn't want to be there. And the truth is, I really was kind of uncertain of my interest in being in there at that point because I was so surprised that I was still there. People ask me all the time, was I happy leaving 4th? I was actually totally fine with it. Mike and I had an arrangement ahead of time, and it worked out well. So Big Brother All Stars for me, it actually worked out the way it was supposed to. But no, I didn't. I mean, I rehearsed everything over and over and over. But that was, as I recall, that was the speech I was going with. So I'm not sure what he was alluding to. It's very possible, but I don't recall that.
James is a funny.
Was the implication that I had a different type of speech or something, or that I did it twice?
Something that you gave like a regular da-da-da-da-da. I don't remember exactly what he said that it was. But then it's like, okay, this one's for the show, and then you went into this, and that's why everyone was laughing so hard when you did that one. That's what he told me.
No, they were laughing because I told them I was about to give them a show. I was like, hey, I'm about to give you guys a show. Like, you want to see? I just knew what would make TV and what wouldn't make TV, and I was like, I'm about to give you guys, and I'm not a good actor, but I was like, I'm about to give you guys some show this is something that's gonna make it on TV, because who would do that normally? And you know what's funny is I really feel like James was so happy to be in the Legion of Doom Alliance, and I don't know, he just was like so happy to be in it, and Mike was like great at befriending him, and I was like, we got to get rid of these two faster than anyone else in the house. Like, I couldn't get rid of Danielle fast enough. I was so nervous about her because she's such a good player. So I was like, the first opportunity I get, I'm getting rid of Danielle. And that's also one of the reasons why I could never go on Big Brother again. I mean, people are going to come after me #1, so I get it. You won't see me on there again because it'll be a waste of my time.
Yeah, but the thing is, too, is you found in All Stars, I found when I went back last season, even for just the week that I was in there, and I've seen it on Survivor a number of times, and Rich came up to me and he's like, so I know you've been thinking about a strategy because, I know you, and, what are you thinking? And I'm like, I've seen all of these people where they bring like 2, 3 people back, 4 people back on Survivor, and the rest of the cast is like starstruck. And this is exactly what happened in All Stars with you, where the rest of the cast was like starstruck, and you use that to your advantage. And I'm like, if I can get to the jury, then I got a really good chance at taking this motherfucker down. So if I could just use that as part of my play, and you would be able to do that again. And that was like one of my big questions is there anything that they could do that would bring you back to do one more season?
Well, the answer unequivocally is no.
Against Evil Dick.
Yeah, the answer is unequivocally no, and I'll tell you why. As I get older, I realize my most important commodity in life is time, and it's not money. I work very hard, and I'm not embarrassed that I make a very good living. So money's the motivating factor. And, one of the things when you go back to Big Brother is you have to worry about tainting your reputation, tarnishing your reputation. And, the way I left it, I'm very comfortable leaving my helmet on the field. Like, I'm really comfortable being a retired player. I had a big knee surgery last year. I don't think I could do, some of the competitions these days. I'm almost 40 years old. I have a 2-year-old. For me, I'm a really youthful, in shape, smart guy, and I think I'm smart enough and know myself well enough to say that I'm retired. I will say, and I have to run in just a second. I actually really need to go, but I will say that I do have a ton of love for the game. I just wish they would revamp it and reignite my interest in it. I have a lot of respect for the other players. All the people I was on during season 2 and season 6, with rare exception, I really, really think they're sweet people. And my hope for the fans is that they gift themselves the knowledge to choose and choose good TV. Choose good decisions in your life. You don't have to watch a show that's dumb. Like, don't feel obligated because you signed up for Real Pass that you got to watch it. Pick and choose what you want to do. Root for the people you love and cheer against the people you hate, but you should really enjoy it. And if you're sitting there and you're annoyed and you're angry and you have shots, Google it, then it's not the right show for you. And so, people like you, Evil Dick, tons of respect. You are unapologetic and unrelentingly dark, and that's why you're fucking awesome at Big Brother. And I hope the fans seek out other characters like that and appreciate the gameplay that real contestants bring. That is my piece this evening.
I totally agree with you. We are on board 100%. I'm on board 100% with everything that you say. I say it all the time. I wish that they would get rid of the twist. I wish they'd get rid of all the bullshit. I wish that they would go back to a basics season because it's all about the characters. It's all about the characters. That's why your reputation has lived on for like 11 or 12 years. That's why 7 years after my season, I have more people willing to listen to me than the winner of the last 5 seasons combined. So, it's all about playing, having respect for the game, and I'm right there with you. And I'm very disappointed on how what this is turning into, and I've really become frustrated and annoyed with it. And I agree.
I'm disgusted. No, I'm just
I feel
kidding.
like I'm rambling on, but I totally agree with you, 100%.
Let's leave it at this in complete agreement. Fans, if you think I'm ugly, then you, being so beautiful and so handsome, get in the game. And if you think that Evil Dick is an asshole, then you get in the game and be a good player and see how that turns out for you. And if you think you're so smart and so awesome and so funny and so backstabbing, do it. I'm calling you out. Do it and make me a fan, and that's where you'll earn my respect. So,
Absolutely.
Evil Dick, you're awesome. Let's do this again. Maybe we'll do this again before the end of the season. And ladies and gentlemen, I have to run because I have to go to my real passion in life, which is dermatology. I got to go run and do some dermatology. But
you're doing the QVC, right? Go ahead. You can push
QVC.
yourself.
I don't know when this will air, but I've been working with QVC for 4 years now, and one of the reasons they chose me as their dermatologist is because of Big Brother All Stars. You have to look 4 or 5 steps ahead and be ready for your post-reality life because CBS ain't doing anything for you. So you always have to prepare for your post-reality world, and I think I prepared for mine relatively well. But our TV Zone with Evil Dick, if you don't subscribe already, please do. It's a great show, and I'm a huge supporter. And Evil Dick, I thank you for having me on, and I'd love to be on again sometime.
Dude, it would be great. You're always welcome. You're the best, bro. You're the man.
Let's have a rap show at the end of the. Let's have a rap show at the end of the season, and I'll make sure Mike Boogie's on, and we can line fans up, and for $5 you can kick him in the nuts.
There you go. I think you saw that on America Has Talent, the guy with the kick in the nuts. So Will's out of here. I do want to thank Will, and obviously we will be doing this again. And how great would it be if I could get Janelle on that episode with Mike Boogie and Dr. Will? So I'll try to make that happen. Thanks for tuning in. What a great episode. I really enjoyed this episode. I hope you did too. Thank you and good night.